What if I told you that the drunk mentor we all thought we knew in the Hunger Games was once a 16-year-old boy who had never touched a drop of alcohol? A boy who was in love, who took care of his family, who had dreams and a future. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into Suzanne Collins's latest masterpiece, Sunrise on the Reaping. And I have to warn you, this book will absolutely shatter your heart. If you enjoyed the original Hunger Games trilogy, if Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes left you wanting more, then buckle up. Because this prequel isn't just a backstory. It's a tragedy that will make you see Haymitch Abernathy in a completely different light. Before we jump in, if you haven't read the Hunger Games trilogy, I strongly recommend you start there first. This book hits different when you know what Haymitch becomes. Trust me on this one. Right, let's get into it. Sunrise on the Reaping takes us back 25 years before Katniss volunteered for her sister. Back to the 50th Hunger Games, the Second Quarter Quell. And if you remember your Hunger Games lore, you know that quarter quells are special. They're the Capitol's way of reminding the districts who's in charge by making the games even more brutal than usual. The twist for this particular quell: double the tributes. Instead of 24 kids fighting to the death, we get 48. 48 children. Let that sink in. Our protagonist is Haymitch Abernathy, a 16-year-old kid from the Seam, the poorest part of District 12. And here's the thing that Collins does brilliantly: she makes his birthday fall on Reaping Day. Every single year, the day he's supposed to celebrate being alive is the day 2 kids from his district are sent to die. And this year, it's his turn. But before we get to the games, Collins spends the entire first part of the book showing us who Haymitch was before everything went to hell. And this is where the book really hooked me. The Haymitch we meet in Chapter 1 is unrecognizable. He wakes up early on his 16th birthday, not because he wants to party, but because he has work to do. He's been helping his mother, a washerwoman, who's been raising him and his younger brother Sid alone since their father died in a mining accident. And here's a detail that killed me: his shorts are made from Capitol flour sacks, with the words, "Courtesy of the Capitol," stamped across his backside. His mother wastes nothing because they have nothing, but Haymitch doesn't complain. He goes to work for an old woman named Haymitch, who runs an illegal distillery in the woods outside District 12. He's basically a bootlegger's assistant, hauling grain, chopping wood, doing whatever needs doing. It's dangerous work. It's illegal work. But it's steady work, and it helps his family survive. And here's the kicker, the detail that made me realize how much this book was going to hurt. When Hattie gives him a bottle of white liquor for his birthday, Haymitch doesn't drink it. He doesn't even consider drinking it. He immediately thinks about trading it or giving it away, the boy who will become the District 12 drunk. He refuses to touch alcohol, but it gets better. Or worse, depending on how you look at it. Because Haymitch isn't just working hard and taking care of his family. He's in love. Her name is Lenore Dove, and she's a covey girl, part of that traveling music group that Lucy Gray belonged to in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. The scenes between Haymitch and Lenore Dove are tender and sweet and absolutely devastating when you know what's coming. He brings her cracked corn for her geese. They meet in secret in the woods. They talk about the future like they might actually have one. And reading these moments, knowing what President Snow is going to do to him, knowing that in 25 years he'll be too drunk to function most days, it's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You can't look away, but you desperately want to. Collins is a master at this. She makes you love this version of Haymitch, makes you root for him, makes you hope against hope that maybe, just maybe, things will be different than you know they'll be. Then comes the reaping. The entire district gathers in the square. Haymitch stands with his friends Blair and Burdock, trying to keep his spirits up despite knowing the odds. And then Drusilla Sickle, the Capitol escort, who's been doing this since the first quarter quell starts, drawing names. 4 names instead of 2. First up, Luella McCoy. She's 13 years old. She lives 3 houses down from Haymitch. Collins describes her as one of the smartest, spunkiest kids in the district, and you can feel the crowd's anger when her name is called. Then Maisily Donna. And this name should sound familiar to trilogy readers, because Maisily's niece is Madge Undersea, the girl who gave Katniss the Mockingjay pin. Maisily comes from one of the merchant families in town. She's elegant, composed, and utterly terrified beneath that calm exterior. The boys' names come next. Wyatt Callow, a guy who's almost 19, so close to aging out of the reaping that you can taste his desperation. And finally, Woodbine Chance. Now, the Chances are known troublemakers. They are rebels, drinkers, fighters. They've lost more family members to public executions than anyone can count. And when Woodbine's name is called, he does what any Chance would do. He runs. For a moment, just a moment, you think he might make it. His family is shouting, people are blocking the peacekeepers, he's fast, so fast, and then a shot rings out from the rooftop. Woodbine's head explodes. Right there in the square. In front of everyone. In front of children. This is how chapter 1 ends. With a boy's brains splattered across the cobblestones, because he dared to run. And Collins doesn't shy away from the horror of it. She makes you see it, feel it, understand exactly what kind of world these kids are living in. The Capitol doesn't just want obedience. They want total, absolute submission. And they'll murder children in broad daylight to get it. What makes Sunrise on the Reaping so powerful isn't just the plot. It's what Collins does with character development. Because this book isn't really about the Hunger Games. Not entirely. It's about trauma. It's about loss. It's about what it costs to survive in a system designed to break you. Throughout the book, Collins draws these devastating parallels between Haymitch and Katniss. Both lost their fathers young. Both had to become providers for their families. Both have younger siblings they are desperate to protect. Both get thrust into the games when they are barely old enough to process what's happening. And here's the thing that gutted me: both of them defy the Capitol in the arena. Both of them pay the price for that defiance. Katniss loses Rue, loses Finnick, nearly loses Peter's mind to hijacking. But Haymitch loses everyone. By the time the book ends, his mother is dead. His brother is dead. Lenore Dove is gone in the worst way possible. Every single person he made an alliance with in the arena dead. And not just dead in the games. Oh no. President Snow has them executed specifically to punish Haymitch for being clever, for outsmarting the game makers, for having the audacity to think he could win on his own terms. This is why he drinks. This is why he can barely function by the time Katniss and Peter get reaped. It's not weakness. It's not selfishness. It's survival. The only way Haymitch Abernathy can live with what President Snow did to him is to drown those memories in white liquor, and suddenly, every scene in the original trilogy where Haymitch shows up drunk takes on new meaning. Every moment where he seems checked out, where he seems like he doesn't care, you realize he cares too much. He's seen this exact scenario play out for 25 years. 2 kids from District 12, year after year, sent to die. And except for one miraculous year with Katniss and Peter, he couldn't save a single one of them. Imagine mentoring 48 kids over 25 years, knowing they're all going to die, watching them die, being forced to smile for the cameras while your heart is breaking over and over and over again. Yeah. I'd drink too. But let's talk about what this book is really about, beyond the surface level plot. Sunrise on the Reaping is fundamentally a story about the cycle of trauma, and how systems of oppression perpetuate themselves. The Capitol doesn't just kill kids in the Hunger Games. They create survivors who are so broken, so traumatized, that they become living warnings to the districts. Don't rebel. Don't fight back. Look what happens to the victors. Haymitch wins the games. He survives the arena. And his reward is a lifetime of suffering that makes death look merciful. Collins also explores the concept of propaganda in fascinating ways. Throughout the book, we see how the Capitol controls the narrative. They edit the footage from the games. They spin Haymitch's victory to fit their agenda. They literally rewrite history to make themselves look benevolent while erasing the truth of what they've done. Sound familiar? It should. Because this is what authoritarian regimes do. They control information. They create their own reality. And anyone who challenges that reality gets crushed. There's also this beautiful, tragic symbolism with Lenore Dove's name. It's taken from Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, specifically, the line about the lost Lenore. In the poem, the narrator is mourning his dead love, torn between wanting to forget her and desperately needing to remember. That's Haymitch's entire existence after the games. He wants to forget, hence the drinking, but he can't. The raven in the poem keeps repeating nevermore, forcing the narrator to remember. For Haymitch, that raven is his own conscience, his own memory, his promise to Lenore Dove that he would stop the sunrise on the reaping, that he would end these games somehow. He fails. Or at least, he thinks he does. He won't succeed in stopping the Hunger Games until Katniss and Peter blow up the arena 25 years later. But he never stops trying, even when trying looks like showing up drunk to mentor meetings. Because showing up at all, after everything he's been through, is an act of defiance. Now, a lot of people have asked me, is this better than Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Honestly, they're different books with different strengths. Ballad gave us incredible world building, showed us the Capitol's perspective, and introduced us to Lucy Gray Baird, who might be one of the most enigmatic characters Collins has ever written. It's a broader story about how Coriolanus Snow became the monster we know. Sunrise on the Reaping is more intimate. It's narrower in scope, but deeper in emotional impact. Where Ballad sometimes felt rushed, Sunrise takes its time. The pacing is more deliberate. Collins lets us sit with these characters, really get to know them, before she rips them away from us. Both books are excellent. Both are essential reading for Hunger Games fans. But if I had to choose which one hit me harder emotionally, Sunrise wins, hands down. That said, the book isn't perfect. The biggest issue is that we know too much going in. We know Haymitch wins. We know everyone he loves dies. We know he becomes a mentor who can't save anyone until Katniss. That knowledge removes some of the suspense from the arena scenes. There's also a fair amount of fan service, callbacks, to the original trilogy, that sometimes feel a bit forced. Like, yes, we get it, this connects to that moment in Catching Fire. You don't have to spell it out quite so explicitly. And if you haven't read the original trilogy, you're going to miss a lot of the emotional impact. This book works best when you understand what Haymitch becomes, when you can contrast the boy we meet in Chapter 1 with the man stumbling around drunk in the Hunger Games. But these are minor complaints in the grand scheme of things. So, final thoughts. Sunrise on the Reaping is a masterclass in character development and tragedy. Suzanne Collins took a side character that most of us thought we understood and revealed depths of pain and complexity that completely recontextualized the entire trilogy. After reading this book, I went back and reread The Hunger Games. And every time Haymitch appeared, I saw him differently. When he calls Katniss sweetheart, I now know he's thinking of Lenore Dove. When he fights so hard to keep Katniss and Peter alive, I understand it's because he's trying to save the tributes he couldn't save for 25 years. When he shows up drunk to the reaping, I know it's because that day is his birthday, the day he was reaped, the day his life ended even though his body kept going. Collins has done something remarkable here. She's taken a character who was already beloved by fans and made him infinitely more tragic, more human, more real.my rating. 9 out of 10 stars. It's not quite perfect, but it's damn close. And more importantly, it's necessary. It completes Haymitch's arc in a way that honors both his pain and his resilience. So should you read Sunrise on the Reaping? If you're a Hunger Games fan, absolutely yes. If you love character-driven stories that aren't afraid to break your heart, yes. If you want to understand one of the most complex characters in YA literature, yes. But if you haven't read the original trilogy, start there. Experience Haymitch as Katniss sees him first. Then come back to this book, and have your heart shattered by knowing who he used to be. That's it for today's review. Let me know in the comments. Have you read Sunrise on the Reaping? What did you think? Are you Team Haymitch or Team Katniss? And what other Hunger Games characters would you want Collins to write about next? If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, share it with your fellow Hunger Games fans, and subscribe for more book reviews and deep dives. Remember, may the odds be ever in your favor. And more importantly, may you never forget the cost of those odds. See you in the next video.